Oh, hey, what's going on, everybody? Sorry, I've been addicted to the Aura Farmer videos online, so I just figured I would try that one. Hey, everyone. It is another Siser Live, another Siser After Dark, another Wednesday. Thank you guys all so much for everybody that's in early. Appreciate you for always supporting the After Darks. And I know you guys are excited because of the cover of this one. We are doing large format print and cut with Romeo. So I got the big guy right behind me, ready to rock and roll for us. So we're going to do a large format project. Not only am I going to show you how to create larger than, let's say 18 inches. So there's a limitation in Leonardo right now. If you print directly from Leonardo, limited to about 18 inches wide. However, I'm going to show you a really quick, easy way if you want to print larger than 18 inches. So for anybody out there that has those SureColor 30-inch printers or 24-inch printers, as well as anybody out there that has eco-solvent printers, maybe wanting to get a larger than life printer for your own home or for your own business, I'm going to show you how to set it up, show you how to save that file, show you how to cut appropriately, and once and for all settle the debate. Does Romeo actually print and cut larger than, you know, whatever we say it cuts? We're going to try that out. We're going to see if it works. And then, you know, guys, it's August, which means that next month is what? September, which means that next month after that is what? October, which means we have a very important holiday coming up. And I do have to call back, you know, to my buddy Joe a while back. His favorite holiday is Halloween. So I think what I'm going to show you guys today too, we're going to use some Siser PSV or the sticky stuff, the sticker stuff. And I'm going to show you not only how you can take a 12-inch roll and create something larger than 20 inches or so with this. And then we're going to create a fun little sign. That's what we're doing today. Check that out. Boop, boop, boop. So eat, drink, be scary. That's it. That's it. All right. So with that said, thank you guys again so much for coming. My name is Patrick Ali. I'm your lead educator. I'm going to go around really quick and introduce the room. I say that like we have 50,000 people in here, but you guys know we got a tight, small squad in here. And with that tight, small team, I just actually, Emily, you're at home right now. Love you. Just gave everybody their flowers of what they help me with and why I'm able to do what I do. So I have to go to him because he's in town hanging out for a little bit. The salt and the syllables, the grammatical gatekeeper, the one, the only in studio today, our very own Adam Sneath. Say hi, Adam.
Hey, everyone.
Okay, well, you know what? I really pumped it up, and then I gave you that shot. All right. So Adam's on there checking, obviously, all the social stuff. Any of your questions, comments, and all that. And I mean, without saying, she's back in studio with us. It's the maestro of the evening.
And with that said,
did I say it too?
You've said it like 3 times already.
I don't even remember when I say it now. It's like a normal thing.
Hey guys, it's Anna.
There we go. Oh, see, I like that one. All right. No more hi, Anna. Hey guys, it's Anna. And I'll give her a second at home. Actually, you can do it for her really quick, Anna, a combination of both of you. Obviously at home, sitting, watching, and hanging out, as she's been hanging out the last couple of lives, is our very own Emily. Say hi, Emily, from home.
Hi, Emily.
There you go. I like it. I like it. All right. So with that, we got some people in the comments already. I can see Mary Brown's hanging out with us. Roseanne Heller. Hey, hey, hey. Funny enough, actually, thank you, Roseanne Heller, for the little dog tags that permanently sits on our studio keys. So we always can remember our boy Chuck. Who else do we have kind of floating around in the comments just before we get started? DB is here as always. We appreciate you. I see Carol is in here. Dorothy is in here. We got Sharon in here. We got everybody in here today. So if you guys have any questions, we got a team of people that can answer them away. And any ones that we can bring over into the live, we will definitely answer live for you. But I'm excited today because we're going to get to dive into Leonardo a little bit. And let me show you guys something really fun and really interesting. So what I'm going to do, while Anna's about to pipe in really quick here, I'm going to go ahead and just switch my monitor over.
No, I was just going to say, she might get mad at me for calling her out like this, but I'm doing it anyway. We have Karina in the house.
Ooh, hey,
of Crafty Kari.
Hello, hello.
Hey, I think she actually has a few big printers, so this will be interesting. She'll probably learn something.
Awesome, awesome. Well, hey, everyone hanging out. If you have any questions, again, we'll get to them as soon as we can. But if you did miss this live, for anybody watching on YouTube, today would be Thursday when we repost them. Thank you guys for watching again, but make sure that you head over to our Facebook, make sure that you're part of our support group, and make sure that you can get tickets to these things so you can come and interact live. If you got the time, we obviously love having you. So with that, we're going to hop directly inside Leonardo Design Studio, and I'm basically going to show you guys how to create this. All right, so this right here is actually 24 inches wide. And the print itself, I did it a little bit shorter. I didn't go like a big 24 inches long or a big 1 yard long. The only reason for that is I didn't want to waste a bunch of material. I wanted to be able to show you something really cool and how big you can do it, but you can scale this as far and as wide as your heart desires. Okay, so you can make this really easy, but we're going to dive right into Leonardo. Let me show you how to set up your art file. Let me show you how to set up your print and cut. Let me show you how to save it. And then we're going to go ahead and execute a fun print. What's up, Anna?
Well, I was just saying, while you're setting all of this up, I'm curious in the people in the comments, like, what kind of printer do you have? Do you have something big? Do you have a big print and cut machine? What do you have?
That's a really good question.
Let us know.
Yeah. So down in the comments, make sure that you're letting us know what types of printers. If you have something bigger than like a standard 8.5 by 11, if you do, let us know that too, because well, definitely I can show you a quick little pro tip at the end of this, how you can cut multiple sheets on one mat on your Romeo. But I definitely want to know. All right, what? You're clicking it.
No, I was just going to add one more thing, because I don't know if you saw in the comments, but there's quite a few people in here hoping to jump over from the Venture to the Romeo, and some people that have already jumped over from a Cameo 5.
Nice. All right, look, we got already people chiming in. We got Epson, the 15,000. That's a big boy. Canon 9521, the ET 1500 or 15,000. Yes, I love it. Okay, so let's show you guys. Let's just hop right into Leonardo today. Let's start talking software. Let's start talking about it. So for any of my Venture friends in here, you're going to love this in the freedom that you get in Leonardo, but we're just going to start kind of from the basics. So anytime we do a print and cut, oh, actually, you know what? I don't want to like leave you guys for too long. So I'm going to throw a picture in picture. Hey, down in the corner. So what we're going to do first is we're going to set up our print and cut page. Now we can do this a couple different ways. Number one, I can bring in all of my designs. So I'm just going to go over into Leonardo Design Studio really quickly. And we're just going to start clicking on some random ones because I have one print already done. We're going to bring this piece out, baby. And for any of my Cricut folks out there that are using Ventures and using Design Space, Leonardo Design Studio is 100% commercial free artwork. You're allowed to take it. You can export out of Leonardo, which we're going to show you today. And there's a ton of benefits. So I'm really excited that you guys are in here. Here we go. So we're just making a hodgepodge. Some in the DTF world or the production printing world would call this a gang sheet. Basically, a gang sheet is a sheet of a bunch of different designs that kind of make up a collective sheet that you can do multiple garments and multiple everything with. So we're just kind of picking some random stuff right now. And I want to fill this page. Now, for anybody watching too, these are all SVG images that I'm bringing in just because I'm using the Design Studio library right now. Let's see. Let's go a little bit of, here, back to school. That's a fun one. So not only can I bring in SVG images, but if I want to, I can go ahead and import. Let me go over to, oh, actually, you know what? Here we go. I'll put my face on there for you. I can import an image. I can either create a print and cut image. I can make it a background image only if I'd like. The big differences is one is going to have that contour cut line and knock out the background. The other one is just going to bring this whole photo on over into the main design board. But we're going to select print and cut. We're going to go ahead and hit next. And I'm going to actually remove the mask tolerance a little bit. And even though you can see some what we call feathering, or we see some of the white space behind me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you on a couple screens over. Once we hit our cut line, and now you can see that little blue cut line, I'm going to not include holes. And then what we're going to do is on the next screen, we're going to actually chop out this little goofy contour that we have. And I'm going to actually create an offset on me. So kind of like a sticker. For most of you, you have that, little bit of an offset, and then you have an easy peel section to that sticker. But for now, we're just going to hit finish. And now I have a print and cut image, an actual PNG image on my artboard. For now, we're just going to deselect print and cut. Okay. So the reason why I do that, and I want to stop right there. The reason why we're going to deselect print and cut and why I want all of the images to live on the same page is because for this next step, I'm going to show you how to change the size of the page and then convert that into a print and cut page with registration marks. Okay, I just wanted to stop there really quick, ask if we're seeing any crazy questions come in right now before we kind of move on to this next step, because I want to stop as periodically as we go to give you guys an opportunity to learn it. Any big questions, anything that anybody missed? Cool. All right, that works. Works for me. All right, so now that we are back in Leonardo Design Studio, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to, and again, This is just a floating artboard. There is no print and cut lines or registration marks right now. I'm going to change my media width. And in this case, I'm going to just change it to, 24 inches because that's how big my material is. And let's change it to 18 inches tall. Okay. So once I have my artboard done, what I can do now is hit print and cut. And as you notice, my registration marks now popped on to my page. So if I move this artwork around, my registration marks kind of will follow all of my artwork. Okay. So what we're going to do from here is I like to first just snap my page marks. So just by clicking the page mark option, you can see now I can move these images around and my registration marks don't move. So what I'm able to do from this step now is I have all my designs. Let's say this is going to be the front of a shirt for back to school, maybe for a teacher. Maybe I have a kid's shirt out of the little raw dinosaur, which I think is cutesy bootsy. Somebody can have my face. You can own my face in here, but we're going to actually add a couple of them. So I'm going to rotate this image, and there's a couple ways you can rotate. Number one, I can grab the little green dot for all of my Cricut friends in there, and we can rotate that way. The other way that I can do it is I can go down to all of my arrange tools. Where are we at here? And I can rotate down on the arrange section, or I can simply click my image and hit the Control-C, Control-V, just your normal copy and paste, and move that image over. And then I'm just going to rotate that because we're going to do what we're calling nesting. So I'm basically nesting my designs manually just because it's easier for me to work with all of that. And then now I can just start to set up all of my other artwork. Do we have any questions coming in about any of this while I'm setting this up?
Can you clarify one more time from when you were adjusting the mask tolerance for your print and cut image of your face, what that means?
Yeah. So for anybody out there that doesn't know what a mask tolerance is, basically a mask on an image. Okay, let's take just a normal image or a normal picture and put a clear sheet over top of it. That's your quote unquote mask. The mask tolerance is you're telling that image how much of that background that you want in that image or how much do you want it to remove. Now, for some most really high resolution images, if you turn your mask tolerance all the way down, you really shouldn't have to worry about it. It should remove all of the background and snap your cut line fine. But for some images like this one, which may be saved or like in this case, I use the snipping tool in my computer to just kind of like copy and paste my head and save it as a JPEG. Sometimes you need to adjust that mask tolerance depending on how much of that background you want or how little. Now, in this case, what you did see when we went through each of those screens, so for anybody watching on the playback, skip on back to when we actually imported this design. It's down in the chapters below. But what you actually would see me in real time is that part of my hat was cut out because that white matched the background. Sometimes your mask tolerance can get a little wonky and it doesn't know that this is a person's head and this is a background and they're two different things. Okay, so in that case, for this, I decided to just add a contour and build my contour a little bigger so I didn't have to worry about any of the edges being rough and all that stuff. Does that make sense? Cool. Okay. Alrighty, so now that I have basically most of my artboard, let me go ahead and fit some of these peace out babies in here. We'll get a couple of more of these cutesy bootsy dinosaurs. We're just kind of throwing stuff in, filling this entire page as much as we can. Maybe we'll rotate those and get more of those in there. And this is also a really great thing for any of my large format printer friends out here, especially back to school is starting. This is a great way where you can not only create something really awesome for not only one teacher, your favorite teacher, but if you have a PTC in your own school, a parent teacher coalition, or you have a principal that you really like, or a bus driver, you can print a bunch of these at the same time, so you don't have to, you don't have to exclude anyone this school year. I always get caught doing that where I exclude a bunch of people because I forget that there's 9,000 people in the school. All right, cool. So I'm just going to go there, and then we're going to add one little piece out baby right there. We're just filling in space. We'll do one right there just for funsy balunsies. There we go. Cool. All right, so what we need to do now, we have two things kind of going on our screen. Number one, as you guys saw, I already created a print and cut image. So I'm going to zoom in really quick. There we go. Look at that. There's the kid. So if you look around my head, you'll see a little green line. That's my cut contour for my print and cut image. Now, if I go up to the little dinosaur, a little Dino, you see that the cut line is a square cut line around the entire dinosaur. So what we need to do is we need to remove that background as well and have the cut line just around the outside contour. So here's how we're going to do this. All the images other than me that are already converted to print and cut, I'm just going to simply select, like for example, the Miss Mackenzie and the pencils. We're going to select those all together because all of that artwork will be treated the same way. I'm going to go down to our tool menu and we're going to find the build cut contours. And so it's the little star for all my Cricut friends out there. If you're trying Leonardo for the first time, build cut contours is identified by a little star with a white line around it. Once I select that, you can see automatically my cut lines are added to this file. And for the sake of this, time and energy and effort, I'm going to actually reduce my weeding by adding a contour. So now these are kind of, I'm treating everything on this page like a sticker just for example purposes for you guys. So now that I have that done, you can see a blue cut line around those images. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead to the rest of these because it looks like everything else would be fine with a normal cut line. And we're going to go ahead and we're just going to select whatever the print and cut line is now and keep it as is. We're going to include the holes so we can get all those cavities in the design. And then I'm just going to simply hit apply. Okay, so now what this is going to look like is on the next menu, when I go over, you'll see, other than part of my design is off the grid. Let me move these down just a little bit. There you go. So now when I go over to the Send Design menu, all of my print file, which again is that 23.52, okay, and then 17.5 basically tall. Here's my entire print file, and then here's my cut file. Okay, so here's where the real teaching begins. Okay, this is where we need to figure out this part. So what we need to do first, because we're printing larger than 18 inches, which is that standard in Leonardo, what it's going to do is it's going to auto default to print to PDF. So it's going to create a PDF for us with the registration marks. So I'm going to simply hit Save PDF Artwork, and we'll save it to the downloads, and we'll just do a random name on there. You guys know I love to do random names for artwork. Hit Save. And then now it will say that it's saved, and it'll take a half a second just to catch up because it's a big file. And then now, as you can see, it opened up my PDF for me with my registration marks. And now what I'm able to do is hit select my printer, and then I can simply print my artwork to whatever printer I decide. For me, I have a Canon that's upstairs. We also have a large Canon that we use for all of our big commercial printing, so I can use that. Or if I am somebody that has a Roland, a Mamaki, an HP. So if I'm using a driver software, so for anybody that doesn't know large format, plug your ears for like 2 seconds. For all of my people using VersaWorks, Onyx, Imeo, Image Pro, all of those larger format print driver softwares that come with your HPs, your Rolands, your Mamakis, and all that, what you actually can do is you can take this PDF, as you know, you can bring it right into VersaWorks or right into Onyx, and you can upload that to be able to print on your printer. Now, for some of you out there, you're saying, Patrick, why in the hell would I have a large format print and cut system? Why would I want to print with my printer and then use a Romeo to cut it? Well, as you know, if you have a Roland BN20, BN20A, the cutting portion of those machines are a little bit slower. We also know as large format printer people, we calibrate those machines quite a bit because we want to make sure that they're always crystal clear and clean on the cuts. Well, for Romeo and Juliet, they come pre-calibrated. So one of the benefits of having, say, like an Epson F15000 that some people have, it doesn't have a cutter on it. It doesn't have a blade on it other than a straight sheet cut blade. So for us, we're able to print outside of Leonardo. We're able to bring our artwork over onto our normal print driver for our large format equipment. That means that I can change my profile. I can adjust like the color of my image itself, the quality of the print can all be manually adjusted. The only thing that you want to make sure that you don't do is do not adjust the size of your artwork. If you you save to a PDF, you bring in, say, this document over into, say, VersaWorks, right, just as an example, and then you scale it from 100% to like 120%, or even go down further past 100%, what ends up happening is now your registration marks aren't in the right positions for your Romeo to register. So if we are going to be printing, make sure that we're not changing our artwork size or anything about it before we actually get on to the cutting portion of it, or we just need to simply go back in, save the file, resize it in Leonardo, save it again, and then you can process it through your print driver. Does that make sense when you said that? I think so. Okay. Do we have any questions before we move on to the next step?
No, Karina said good point, so you must have covered it.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much. And I appreciate the feedback too. All right. So what we're going to do is I already have this pre-printed, so I'm not worried about this particular file. As I guys showed you, I didn't want to bore you with waiting 10 minutes for this thing to print out. Some printers are faster for whatever reason. We need an update on the Roland upstairs. So I actually printed this on a 30-inch print and cut machine. Okay. So next what we're going to do is I'm not going to bore you with my face anymore on there. I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this, go back into Leonardo, and I already have my file designed and ready to go. Okay, so I printed this earlier. The good news is I can still save this design out. As you can see, I've saved this already to my computer, and I can open it. I just don't want to make any size or artwork adjustments unless I want to save a new one and then reprint. So with that, I now have my print ready to go. We're going to go ahead and hit Send Design. And then right before that, we're going to answer a question that Adam has.
So, question from Dorothy. When you print to a PDF, are the settings for actual size or fit to size?
Ooh, that's a really good question. So for me, I don't touch anything. So my assumption is actual size. So whatever is in your software is going to print on your PDF. Now, that's the one thing I will say. If you have a large format printer, don't go to save this file out, and then when you get it into your software of choice, that you're adjusting even that portion of it, whether it's a scaling option or rotation or anything like that. You just want to simply save as PDF, let it live on. I can tell you I measured this today. The actual artwork itself is 21.5 by 14.5. That's how big this is. But the actual page itself is 22 by 17 or 18. Okay. So I hope that answered the question. What's up?
One more question.
Yeah.
Because I think there's some people in here that definitely don't have our machines, and just understanding that the machine itself does not, like a Romeo and Juliet, they do not print. Correct. However, if it's under 18 inches, whatever you're printing, you can send it directly to your desktop printer without doing the PDF thing.
Bingo. And for anybody, for whatever reason, didn't hear that, what Anna was saying, which is a spot on, is that what you're physically, wait, what am I trying to say? Say that again. I had that in my head and then I totally lost it in my brain for whatever reason.
If whatever you're trying to print and cut is under 18 inches.
There we go. That's what I was looking for. Thank you. Thank you for guiding me to that. So if you have something under 18 inch, you can print directly like you would a normal document on a Microsoft Word or whatever. If it's above 18 inches inside Leonardo, what you need to do is save it as a PDF first. Then you can go ahead and print it like you normally would print a document, because it's just a normal PDF file in your file tab or in your downloads in your computer. And then you can bring your artwork over, throw it on your Romeo, and run the print and cut, which is what we're about to do right now. Cool? All right, let's do this. All right, look at this. I got a handy dandy Romeo cam. I was trying to do handy dandy and then end it with a Y, but it didn't work. All right. So anyways, as you guys know, and for any of my venture friends out there, this is the Romeo high definition cutter by Siser. It is about 3 times faster, if not 3.5 times faster than the standard like venture, and it fits more of your commercial style cutting. I'm sorry, 3 times faster than like the Maker. This fits more of your commercial style cutter that you would see out there in like a Roland or a Graphtec. The nice thing about the machine too is it's connected via Wi-Fi. We network everything because Bluetooth fails too much. And we also have a full cut setting menu. So we have every cut setting that you could want for all Siser material. They're also you have the ability to override any of those cut settings as well, which makes it really convenient, especially if you're not using, say, a Siser vinyl. Maybe you're using a Shemica or a Polytape or a, Bug brand or whatever it may be. So I'm just adjusting my pinch wheels to make sure that it fits my page. I'm going to go ahead and yes, for all of my venture friends out there, you are 150% watching me in real time load up this Romeo high definition cutter without a mat. So I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that everything's even. I always like to do a quick, for me personally, when I have all of my artwork or whatever on the Romeo, I like to do a quick test to make sure that I'm aligned properly. And here's how I do it. I take the blade of my machine and I bring it into the bottom left registration mark. So any of my Cricut friends in here, you're going to find out too with Romeo and Juliet, our registration, or I'm sorry, our Orion. Orientation. What am I trying to say? Orientation.
I don't know. You're struggling. What are you talking
I'm
about?
struggling today with the talking. Orientation
Origin
mark.
point.
Origin point. That's the one. Adam saving the
boy.
day. Jeez, Anna and I both can't figure this out today. All right, so my origin point is actually in the bottom left, not the top left like you're used to with your Cricut machine. Also, this is not an auto feed machine. This is manual, so it gives you a lot more freedom to be able to set your blade and place things. So what I like to do is place my blade in that bottom registration mark and then simply hit the down button to bring my material out until I get close to the top registration mark. Now, what that's going to tell me, if I land in the middle, which exactly in the corner, if I land in the corner or I land very closely to that registration mark, my material is aligned. If I end up, my blade ends up too far to the left, too far to the right, that might mean that my actual image or my material is misaligned a little bit. So we just got to help guide that back in. So for me, I'm good to go. I have this already networked. We are good. I'm actually going to do one quick thing just to show you guys out there from my Cricut friends. We do have a test cut option too. Sorry, I feel like I'm selling you guys on this and I apologize, but I guess it's kind of my job. So we do have a test cut option. So what I can do is change my cut settings on the machine. There's a little tiny t-shirt and I'm just picking a dead space that I know is not going to be printed on. It won't be cut around. And I'm just going to double check to make sure that my cut settings for this particular material are right. And if I need to adjust, I can definitely make adjustments, but that looks pretty good. Actually go up one. There we go. And then now I'm simply going to, which I know a lot of you have seen me do this a million times, but for any of our new friends, I'm just bringing that blade one more time into the bottom left registration mark, okay? Because that's our origin point. So with that, I have my blade installed. I have it in the right spot. We've test cut our material. Now it's time for what I call the click and pray. I mean, I'm just kidding. It's not a click and pray, but do we have any questions before we hit the button?
Well,
you clicked the button and then you said no, and then you clicked it again.
I changed my mind.
Okay, go for it.
I am going to read the questions. Well, a couple things we had a couple questions in the comments about registration and if the registration is better than Cricut. And I was hoping some other people would chime in so it doesn't sound biased.
Yeah.
That we're telling you it's a mega difference.
It is a big difference.
But yes, a lot of sticker makers have converted over. Can you explain the why behind that, educator?
Accuracy of the machine. Number one, right out of the box, these machines are pre-calibrated. They are the most accurate in the industry. For any of my new Cricut friends, everybody else knows in the comments, I know this for two reasons. Number one, because I was a Cricut user for 10 years. I mean, I still use it occasionally, just so we're all clear. I also am proficient in Silhouette. I feel very comfortable with that, but I also am one of the developers of the software and Cutter. So partially biased, but partially because I know the reason why it makes it so special. So the big difference between the Romeo and the Juliet, as well as like a Cricut or a Silhouette, which we do have, just so you guys know, over on our YouTube channel, there's a great comparison video that we did with the Juliet, the Cricut, and the Silhouette. So you can kind of see a side-by-side comparison, not only how big the print and cut options are, so you're not limited to a specific amount of space. I mean, as you can see already in Leonardo from what we did, our registration marks are extremely, extremely close to the edge of our material. So we don't limit you. Secondly to that, we also don't have a special pattern that you have to stay within because we, cut you off in some of the registration marks. Big thing for all of my sticker makers, and I know most of them will chime in, is that we actually have a full high definition camera that registers those registration marks. Whereas for your optical eye has more tendency to fail, especially when you're in low light, high light visibility type situations, or you might have a holographic laminate over your material. Now, my friend Corin Blackstone does an incredible job. You should follow her. Does an incredible job of showing a couple of hacks for Cricut, being able to cut your holographic material a little bit smaller than the registration marks, so you can still register on your Cricut, but you can also cut. But for this, I just don't have to think about it. And as you can see, what I just did, I've loaded the Romeo up completely without a mat. So I don't need a mat. I don't need any special tools. I can just throw my material in there and we can start cutting right away, which is what we're going to actually get into right now. Does that explain it all? I mean, aside from like the Wi-Fi and all of that kind of stuff, which I mentioned. But
I was half listening. Did you mention the camera being a camera?
I mentioned the camera, kid.
Okay.
I got it. I nailed it. All right, cool. As long as I mentioned the camera, Anna's happy. All right, so what we're going to go ahead and do now is we are going to click OK. And we're going to hope that this works live, because you guys know if it fails live, or if it fails, it's going to fail live. So first thing it's doing is it's going to find the first registration mark. And if it does fail, I want to show you guys something really cool. Let it fail really quick. Hold on. Cool. So what I can do is on the actual screen itself, there's a little crosshair. All I have to do is click it right directly to the actual corner of my registration mark, hit OK, and it will actually start to search for that registration mark for me. And once it actually finds it, that's when it will go on and it will actually find the next registration mark and move through. So as you could see in real time, even though the first one failed, I didn't lose all of my material. I didn't lose any of my design, and I didn't waste anything by actually being able to get this done. So you know what I'll do just for you guys? Because the camera's over here. Let's go a little bit closer. There we go. Now you guys can really see. There it is. Cool. And then it'll pop back to normal in a second. But as you can see, and as right now we're cutting out multiple designs. Again, this whole page that we created basically is what we would consider a quote unquote gang sheet. So for anybody that's ordering DTF or any print on demand stuff, you guys are used to hearing that word gang sheet, where it's just a hodgepodge of designs all on one platform. All right, let's see here. I missed the beginning. What material is, oh, I actually didn't even mention the material. So thank you so much, Jen. The material that I'm using is actually an eco-solvent material. This is made for the big Rollins and big Mamaki printers. It's this one is our high 5 print. So this is actually a printable material that has a matte finish to it. What's up, Anna?
I totally lied then to whoever asked in the comments. I thought it was Easy Color DTV.
That was my fault. I told Anna DTV earlier. I just figured out, because when I touched it, it's 100%. It's not DTV. It's thick.
But you could print and cut Easy Color or print
1000%.
Yes.
Yeah, 1000%. You can use Easy Color DTV if you guys have any. So there's a couple different types of inks. While this is cutting away here, I let you take another peek. We're getting through our design right now. We're cruising through it, bruising, as some would say. But with that, when you are doing large format print and cut, so let's say you have Easy Color, that is what's considered a pigment ink material. What that means is pigment ink is like the standard material that you have in a normal desktop printer. Okay, there's nothing really fancy about it. It's just your normal printer paper printer ink. Okay, then you have other ink sets that are for your larger format printers, which are considered eco-solvent. You might hear the term solvent, latex, or even UV. A lot of you out there right now that are all over social media are hearing UV DTF. The UV is just the specific type of ink, but some materials or some inks need a specific material. To Anna's point, with the Easy Color DTV, not only can you print it on pigment ink, but you can also do solvent ink as well as latex ink too. And if you want to get real crazy, you can write on it with a Sharpie and seal that in too. It's a way that I like to label the kids' stuff like lunch bags and backpacks and stuff every year. Smash a little tiny round piece of DTV, write their name on it. What's up, Adam?
Quick question.
Yeah.
What size is the print that you're currently cutting?
Size of the print that I'm currently on right now. Let me just double check it here. This one is 21.5 inches by 14.5 inches. So 21.5 inches wide by 14.5 inches tall. The only reason I did it that way is just because this physical material is like 22 inches. This is what we consider just a miscut in our warehouse. So I kind of just stole a roll and printed on it and didn't really ask questions.
Can you say what printer you used actually to print the
Yes. So for this one is the Roland TrueViz printer. So it's an eco-solvent or solvent-based printer ink. It's not like your normal desktop printer. It's more for production printing in large format, like material printing, if that makes sense. Cool. All right. So this thing's going. I mean, it's cruising right now. We're getting close to the top, and here for all my Cricut friends here, you can see I have no mat underneath this material. We just let it kind of hang off, and it'll cut away, and then once it's done, it'll yell at us and say, hey, we're done. The other really cool part about the Romeo, just while we're here, I mean, while I'm doing the 30-second elevator pitch, the nice thing is, too, is that in the settings menu, there are a lot of different options that you have. There's 5 standard languages in the Romeo and the Juliet. I have the ability to turn on and off the light on the machine, as well as the light underneath the camera itself. Also have different alerts. So we wanted to make this adaptable to all environments. So for all of my folks out there that may be a little bit hard of hearing, there is a light effect that will play once the cut is completed. For anybody that's hard of sight, there is a chime effect that you can also put on or turn on in the cutters that it will like beep once. It kind of sounds like a microwave. No big deal. Hey, we're limited on some stuff, so I couldn't get you a fancy little jingle, but we got you a microwave beep. But that'll go off once your cut's done. So for me, I love it because if I'm down in the studio downstairs at my house and I got to run up and deal with the kids really quick, make sure they're getting to bed, brushing their teeth, and I still have stuff cutting, I can hear from upstairs that ding, and I know that my cut's done, so I know I can run down and start taking care of business. All right, so we're getting close to there. While we're getting close to there, do we have any other questions that are coming in at all?
Karina again said she's totally going to try this on her TrueViz prints.
Yeah, nice.
John had a question about cutting paper, if you can cut paper matless, and I explained a little bit that if you're cutting a sticker sheet, I know you've cut sticker sheets, as long as you're not cutting all the way through.
Yes. Yeah, so there's actually two to those. I'm gonna put this one on the overhead because I want to explain that. That's a great point. So there's a couple things that you need to make sure when we are cutting matless. Number one, to Anna's point, if we're cutting through the material, obviously that will punch out of your material, and then that can bunch up and mess up your cut, mess up your machine. The other thing too is if you notice at the top of my print where my registration marks are, there's about 2 inches of extra material. Now, the reason why I'm able to print and cut off the mat is if I leave these 2 inches of material above my print, above my registration marks, the pinch wheels will grab that material and the cutter will still do its job. So if you are cutting stickers, especially like if you go, what did we do? Print and cut was 2 weeks ago when I did stickers. So something like that. Okay, if you go over onto our YouTube channel, look at the After Dark, the Siser After Dark playlist. There is one that's all on sticker making. And that is where I specifically explain that if you are cutting through your material, we got to go on a mat. And if we're just kiss cutting through, you can do it matless. Cool. All right, let's start to weed this thing out. Let's see what we got going on here. Oh, hold on. Sorry. Okay, so for this one, for a gang sheet like this, you can do it one of two ways. You can weed everything out, or for me, I'm kind of a baby because I don't like to weed it all out on one sheet, just in case I mess up like a small little tiny cavity. I know there's a million people in here that are like me, so give me a thumbs up or a heart if you're the same way. But I like to kind of separate all of my images. So I'm going to put the little football bows to the side. For anybody watching this that's going to be trying, Karina, I made this design just for you. Look at that. You got this, girl. Try it out. You got it. And then for all of my baseballers, because my son's in season right now, it's game day every day. I literally feel like it's game day every day. And then for the back to school, I love this one for like back to school for kids. We back, bro. Let's go ahead and just kind of cut around that. Cool. So now I just took my gang sheet. I was able to separate it, and I can do one of two things. Number one, I can fulfill my print on-demand orders. So I can send this over to my customers so they can weed it, they can transfer it and apply it, or I can weed it out for them, or maybe I'm making my own shirts. So let's go ahead and peel off the carrier. And this material, what I really like about it, because of how thick it is, it really peels well, especially if you get a good solid cut. I got to find a way to show this. This one, we're going to have to put in the group. Come here really quick, Anna. You don't have to be on camera. Just come to the side. Just go to the side. This cut, like, that's like perfect. I want to post that one in afterwards. You guys won't see this super well on camera, but we're going to try. One big thing we are about here at Siser is accuracy. Accuracy for everything. And for this, I mean, there's not a white mark on the edge of any of those. Well, besides the actual football part of the design.
But you don't even have to. A lot of softwares, you have to put a bleed just in case.
Right.
And then you get a weird uneven bleed mark.
Or the other thing too, I will say this was an interesting one for me 2 days ago, I want to say it was. What time is it? 7:40. Okay. 2 days ago, it was a really interesting thing for me to watch somebody do a video. Awesome creator, does really cool content. I got to watch the rest of her content, which I remember the name so I could plug her. But I did watch a video where she shows a really great hack for Cricut on how to create basically a background contour to use as a bleed. And in my head, I thought that was an awesome thing for somebody that owns one. but I also don't think that it should be necessary. That's why the one big benefit, or the biggest benefit, in print and cut on the Romeo, the Juliet, and in Leonardo is that it's so accurate that you don't have to. I mean, this cutter has been used and abused a million times, and it's a perfect cut. So what we'll do is, anybody that's not in here, Adam, can you throw the banner up for the support group? Anybody that's in here that's not already following Siser on all platforms, definitely join our support group at Siser North America Support on Facebook. And what I'll do is, right before we leave here, we'll snap a photo of the edges of these things so you guys can really see that it is a beautiful, beautiful cut. For anybody that's going to be joining the group new, don't worry about it. When you answer the question, just say, hey, saw the After Dark, or hi, Anna, or something in there, and we'll let you in. Okay. Let me go ahead and peel this last one, and then we'll get on to the next project. So what do you guys think? Large format print and cut done easy. I think this is a super, super simple way to start creating your own full color prints. This is also a really great way that you can start to organize things like DTF. One thing I didn't try that I really want to try, and maybe we should order some prints, Anna, and do a quick video on it, is if we set up a file for DTF printing gang sheet with the registration marks, can we throw it on the cutter and cut out the squares?
Someone just asked that, and I had teased that we were testing that.
Okay, cool.
Of finding a way so then you can either watch
Tracy. I know Tracy has tried some stuff, but I've never personally yet. So we're definitely going to make sure we do.
With the goal of sheeting down a gang sheet, right?
Sheeting down a gang sheet. Yeah, making it easy, right? Because one of the cool things for you as a business owner, or for anybody that wants to start a business, is the way that if you can automate your process and make it easy for your customer, they will always come back. So if I can pre-sheet, don't look at my hack job of a cut, but if I were to set up a gang sheet with, good straight line cuts and had those registration marks all over the page, I could have really clean, even, consistent cuts for each of my files. So now I can either store them and press them later, or I can send them right on over to my customer. Did I just see the man, the myth, the legend is in the chat right now? Marco is hanging out with us right now from overseas, dude.
Yeah,
that's
and
awesome.
He's throwing out some wild hashtags that we should start using.
God. What are the hashtags?
Siser, no hacks needed.
I like that. Yeah, Marco. I love it. All right. Well, this next one's for Marco because I know how scary he looks. I mean, I know how much he loves Halloween. Marco, we're going to do a fun one right now for you guys in there. So this sign right here, I'm going to show you how to make this. Now, I purposely cheated. Well, I didn't cheat. I made it harder on myself. So you guys cheated this one, which is I wanted to see, actually, let me just, I already kind of mentioned it. For anybody that's in here, I'm going to show you this sign. How did we make it? Is it print and cut? Is it PSV? Is it HTV? What is this? And I'll give you a little overhead too so you can see. What exactly is that? HTV, PSV, or a full print and cut image? You guys take a guess. All right, we got some that'll be coming in here in a second. And for anybody watching too, if I ever stop talking for a second, it's because we're on a small delay. So I want people to be able to answer. So HTV, PSV, or print and cut? What do you guys think? All right, we got one for print and cut. Let's see. Print and cut, print and cut, print and cut. I love it. God, you guys are cheaters. Print and cut. Print and cut. Let's see. Full print and cut. All right, sweet. PSV, print and cut. Okay. All right, so we got some PSV. We got some print and cut. We have PSV plus print and cut. We got a lot. All right, so I'm going to tell you right now, this is simply 3 layers of adhesive vinyl on the back of a foam core board. That's it. 3 pieces of adhesive vinyl on the back of a foam core board, and we're going to show you how to make it because I think this is an awesome, quick little thing that you can do, especially with Halloween coming up. These are the simple promo throwaway signs. You can go to the $17 store now. This is not a dollar store anymore. It's the $50 store. You can get yourself some foam core board, which this one right here was $1. Or actually, this is like 50 cents. And this is a 20-inch by 30-inch piece of foam core. So we're going to actually make, I'm going to go 19 inches wide on this one. Or no, it's 30 inch. Sorry. I'm going to go 22 inches wide on the PSV. I'm going to show you how to layer 3 layers of PSV using a really fun tool inside Leonardo, but also I'm going to show you a quick trick on how to layer each of those so that they're perfect registration every single time. What's up, Anna? Were you asking a question?
Someone had asked how big of a letter could they cut out with PSV on a Romeo. So I think this will be a good
This is going to be a
test.
great one, but I can tell you that just straight up right now. For the Romeo itself, it's 24 inches as a cutter. That's what we call it. However, you gain an extra 1.5 inches on that. So for any of my new folks to the cutter itself, if you notice, instead of our blade housing being on the outside of the cutter, our blade actually sits in. So you get a true 24 inches if you're doing a PSV regular cut. So you could go 24 inches wide, and you could go as long as 5 yards if that's how long your letter is. So, all right. So let's show you guys how to do this. Number one, here's what we're going to need. And I'm sorry, I'm going a little bit longer tonight, guys, but I think this is a good one. I got one piece of PSV, my orange. We got black, and then we got lime green. This is our Easy PSV Starling. Our friends over at Avery Dennison and us collaborated on a really, really great product. I think these are something that you need. I think these are something that are awesome. And then we're going to need some PSV transfer tape. Now, you're probably asking yourself, Patrick, I only see these at Michael's, Michael's, Walmart, and other places. I only see them in sheets. Why do you got to roll? Well, I'm going to show you a really quick trick on something that you probably have or maybe should get if you have a Juliet. But if you have a Romeo, you already have this available to you to help you sheet these down. Really simple. So let's go back on the overhead. Oh, not that one. There we go. Back on the overhead. So right here this is a Juliet roll holder. Okay. And then I have, where's my Romeo? Romeo. Adam, can you see out there if there's a Romeo roll holder? We'll show it in a minute, but I thought I had one sitting out over here somewhere. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're just going to take our Juliet roll holder. Because we have rolls of vinyl, I'm going to take my rubber band off, put my vinyl on down on my roll holder, and now look at that. Super easy. I can pull it out, and I can sheet this down really conveniently. What's up, Anna?
Are you going to tell people about the magical discount that's happening right now?
You tell them about the magic. You're already on the mic. You're hot on the mic. Go.
So anyone that has a Juliet, and that roll holder will totally work for Romeo as well. But this roll holder that Patrick is playing with right now is on sale right now for $29.99. It was $59.99, so definitely the time to snag it on Amazon.
Yes,
if you're looking for one.
1000%. Thank you, Anna. I appreciate that.
I will do the shameless plug for sales.
You. Well, I do too many. I shameless plug too much, so I don't want to make anybody mad. All right, so what I'm going to do is for this one, I'm going to try to get, obviously I didn't bring something to measure this thing with either. Oh, I got a couple rulers. Oh, here we go. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and find a spot on the table, pull that to about, what did I say I was going to do, Anna, 22 inches? All right, 22 inches is about there.
I was actually listening to you at that point of the live.
That's because you had something to say too. It's different. You weren't listening to me. You were waiting for me. Thank you, Adam. All right. Thanks to Adam. He brought over the Romeo roll holder. So you can see Romeo, if you have one of these, Romeo, where art thou, Romeo? This comes actually in the box for free for you. So this is a really other great way that you can just use that as a little sheeter too. So if you are somebody as well that might be looking at starting to buy rolls of material, not only for personal use, but maybe you're wanting to buy rolls of material because you want to start sheeting it and start creating a little reseller brand for yourself. It's a really great way. You have a tool already in your craft room or in your space if you have a Romeo or a Juliet roll holder to be able to accomplish this. So I'm going to go ahead, same thing with the green. It's going to be way easier now because I can just follow the line. There we go. There we go. All right. And maybe, just maybe, if we get lucky today, once we get done with this, if we can squeeze in one more project, we got to make a full tailgate wrap for Dean on his new truck. We'll make it. Just because I'm Jelly Belly. No big deal.
Did you talk about the other fun feature of the Starling by Avery Dennison?
Which one? Because did I talk about it and you weren't listening this time?
I'm not sure. I really don't think you said it.
Keyword me.
Dishwasher.
Oh, I didn't actually.
Okay, see, I am paying attention.
You give them the good information then. Okay, so Easy PSV Starling, for anybody out there that does not know already, if you haven't used it or you haven't heard of it before, one of the really cool things is this is actually dishwasher safe. And I'm pretty sure the mug that we put in the dishwasher was what, 80 washes? before we actually finally gave up on it. Yeah, it was like 80 washes before we actually gave up on trying to like make the product fail. So it's really nice. It is a permanent vinyl, quote unquote. However, it does come off easy when needed. So that's kind of a benefit. So what I'm doing right now, I just cut all 3 of my sheets. And then now I'm going to go ahead and cut off my transfer tape. And now we can get started on actually designing this thing. So go ahead and close that down. And we're going to hop right back into Leonardo Design Studio here and kind of show you the workflow to make this happen. So we're going to eliminate our Send Design menu, and I'm going to actually go on over. So this eat, drink, and be scary. Let me remove these really quick just so I'm not giving away too many secrets too soon. This is actually just a design over in the Halloween section. It's keyworded in Leonardo Design Library. But eat, drink, and be scary. I thought this would be great for like an adults party, you know, for Halloween or anything like that. I thought it would be cool. So with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build my actual artboard again. So remember, we had a 24 by 24 artboard. This one, we're going to go 20. I'm going to go 24 still, but then we're going to actually stretch this on out to about that 22-inch mark, and we'll see how tall it is. So it's about 7.5. So we're going to actually go 8 inches tall. And then a couple quick little hotkeys to center your design perfectly is hit C and V on your actual keyboard, and that will center your design indefinitely for you. So now we have this design is 22, well, it's 22.058, and I have OCD, so I'm going to make it 22. And then it is also a 7.7 inches tall. Okay, so now my artwork is already set up. I'm just going to simply hit Send Design. Now, unlike that of a, let's selected artwork. Hold on one second. Cool. Unlike that of a print and cut, this will actually separate each layer of my artwork for me. So not only do I have my black contour, which is the back, I have the green elements of this design, and I also have those orange elements. Now, typically what we would do, especially for a smaller scale item, is we may use a hack like the parchment paper hack, right? Where we're going to take a small piece of parchment paper, and then we'll be able to line up each layer. We're going to use that too, but I'm going to show you another enhanced way, a quick little pro tip, thanks to our friend Jennifer Sanderson of Pigskins and Pigtails. She came to me one day when she was looking for ways to register multicolored screen print because she uses PSV as screen print stencil. And she said, Patrick, I have no way to be able to differentiate each individual layer and make sure they're all aligned. Well, I got with our buddy Tony, who also is the building software and developing our software and constantly working on it. And Tony said, hey, I got a solution for her. We're going to use what we call alignment marks. So I'm going to show you how those work. When we have a multicolor design like we have here, what I can do is actually highlight my artwork, go up to the Arrange menu, whether I'm a Leonardo Pro user or Basic. I can select those alignment marks, and what it will actually do is snap 4 squares in the corners of this entire design. Well, that's not the important part. Let me go ahead and actually make this 10 inches tall, just so I can fit everything. Whoops. Add to stage. All right, so you can hear me, but we can't see me right now. Hold on. Oh, there we go. We're back. I was trying to click over to this screen. I think I clicked the camera button. Sorry, guys, if I scared you there. All right, so I'm going to center my design again. And as you can see, my those little squares are in the corners of my design. So once I hit Send Design now, because I have my alignment marks on, you can see that they're in the corner of my black layer, my green layer here, and my orange layer. So now when we actually go to cut this out, it's going to cut those little squares around each piece, and all I have to do is align those using the parchment paper method, and then that will actually make sure that we get perfect alignment. So let's actually check this out. I'm going to go ahead first, and we're going to do the orange layer. So let me go over to the Romeo. Again, I'm just going to simply put my material right on top, and we're going to feed that in. And because this material is 12 inches, I don't have to worry about it not catching at the top. I'm just going to go ahead and do a quick test cut at about a force of 12. Where did I put my weeder at? Here we go. And because I'm testing one color of material does not mean that I shouldn't test the next one. or the next one. Doesn't matter what the color is or what material it is. You should always try to test cut if you can. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring that blade down again into that bottom left origin of my material. And then once I go ahead and hit send to cutter, I'm not mirroring this because it is a pressure sensitive project. I'm just going to go ahead and simply hit send to cutter. And as you can see in real time, it's going to cut out my registration marks as best as it can. And then it's going to go ahead and do its thing and cut away. I'm going to make sure. Yeah, it's 24 inch, so we're good. All right. We got any questions coming in? Cool. If you guys have any questions, ask away. Feel free. How does it apply? Oh, how is it applied? Oh, that's perfect. I'm going to show you right now. We're going to cut out each of these layers there, Teresa, and we're going to actually apply it all together for you. So this one's going. I'm actually going to pause this, and I'm going to turn up the speed a little bit so we can get through these a little bit faster. For any of my Cricut folks out there too, you also can manually adjust your speed actively while the design is cutting out, which makes it really convenient to make adjustments. Like right now, I don't want it to go as slow because I'm trying to get the live going for you guys so we can wrap up here. But in a perfect scenario, I can also just continue to cut. Okay, so I got layer one done. Go ahead with the green now. This color is kind of sacrilege around our office space. We don't do that house divided stuff around here. Anna, can you concur?
What?
There is no house divided around here.
What?
We are only maize and blue.
Okay, I was gonna say.
We don't
Which way are you swinging with this?
The only right way. But yeah, so okay, cool. Cutting out my green layer right now. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start weeding out the orange, so you guys can kind of see that. And I have my black piece of material as well as my chocolate, my transfer tape. So really cool pro tip too that I actually learned from a friend a long time ago, but I love this pro tip is if you actually take your PSV material and you walk it. So you go rock your material. What this will actually do is it'll pick up most, if not all of the cavities for you, unless there's like a back-driven cavity like an S. But it'll pick up most, if not all your cavities just to make the weeding a little bit easier for you. So there we go. And I have one registration mark here, and I got a corner of one because I actually cut a little too far off this material. But I'll show you really quickly how you can still use that to line up your design. All right, so there's that. We got a couple cavities in here. We're going to peel out, make it easy peasy. Nobody on the lemon squeezy? All right, well, I'm on an island by myself today.
That is 1000% Adam's job to answer those types of things.
All right, I'm going to go ahead actually really quickly. I'm going to bring my green layer over here, and then I'm going to just load my black layer. I'm going to get this cutting so that we can get moving along. Adam's telling me, he said, scoot your booch, man. We got to go.
We did have a question about Juliet being able to do large projects like this. And I said that as long as it's 13.5 inches wide, you can go a long ways with it. So it's just a little bit of a different orientation. That's
it. It's just about how you orient. Yeah, exactly. How you orient your material. Like this is 12 inches. So for me, I'm cutting it I'm cutting it horizontally, even though normally our brain tells us this material should be loaded vertically. So, and you can make any of those micro adjustments you want. That's the fun thing about using heat transfer vinyl is you kind of can do whatever you want with it, and it works well. Oh, I lost a piece here, I think. Whoopsie daisies. There it is. It's a little tiny tail. That's always the worst part with any like PSV that you use. If you get those little tiny points in there, and I'm always the worst with them because I'm too impatient. As this whole team in this office or in this room right now knows. I'm Captain Patience around here, I promise. Wait, what was that?
We did have a question from John.
Okay, yeah. Acknowledge, respond, and pivot. I love it.
He said, is there anything Juliet does that Romeo does not?
Honestly, there's really not much. Both machines are identical in the way they operate, a lot of the functionality, the things that you get with them. So no, there really isn't a huge difference. in the way that both of them function in comparison to each other. However, obviously the one thing is the footprint, right? One's a little bit bigger, one's a little smaller. It's really just dependent on the size of your area. Honestly, the big like makeup difference or aesthetic difference is that the Juliet has a hood and a door, whereas the Romeo doesn't.
He used the example of a maker versus a venture, which I thought was helpful to clarify.
Yeah.
So it's not like that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like a maker has different functionalities than a venture would in a lot of cases, whereas Romeo and Juliet function relatively identically, because I don't think that if you shrink the size of your cutter that you should shrink the amount of work or the opportunity that you have in your process. So.
And I'm going to throw out, Mary asked, but just for everyone here, if you signed up and are watching right now, right after this, you will receive a link to a replay.
Nice.
And be able to watch this back, pause, fast forward.
Yes.
Skip over Patrick's
banter.
baloney. So
hey, come on now. But also too, if you do rewatch it over on YouTube, when we do upload, I always go back and add all the chapters in, so you can kind of just click through the playhead and get to the points that you want. So again, to Anna's point, you can skip my BS. Anyway, all right. So back on the overhead, I have all three parts of my design. I have the eat and be scary, the and drink, and then I have that large black contour that's behind. Now, here's what we need to do. If we think about this sign, I can't pick up the black contour and then try to pick up both of the colors. So we kind of have to arrange this in reverse order than what we see. Okay, so my brain and my head tells me do the black layer, it's the biggest one, put it down, then come back, do the green layer, put it down on the mat, and then do the orange and then put it down on the item. What I'm going to actually show you is how to pick up all three layers using those alignment marks, just to make your life a little easier. So when we apply it to our foam core board, it's just one application. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to take my black and my green layer, and we're going to put those off to the side. And I'm just going to start with my orange layer, okay? I'm going to lay down my transfer sheet the length of my material. I'm going to simply take off the backer. Shout out to Emily for this one, because she definitely, I've done this a lot, but she showed it the other day, so I got to give her credit for this. So you go ahead and peel part of it down, okay? And then I'm just going to simply fold over the back. And I can either cut it, or for me, I just like to fold it. I think it's easier that way, because then what I'm able to do is I'm able to make sure everything's in alignment still, and then I can simply apply my transfer film over the top of my PSV Design, okay? Go ahead and flip the entire transfer. So this is my transfer film, just flipping it over so I can see the bottom of that fold, and here's my material. And then I can simply just pull the transfer film all the way along my design. And just like that, we've adhered to the top layer. Okay, we made it really easy that way. All right, and if you need it, you can also pick up, if you haven't pressed it down to the material yet, if you get a couple air bubbles, you can always pick it up. And then all you do is just kind of let it naturally fall back and slide it down. That'll get all your air bubbles out. And then I'm going to simply take my squeegee and I'm going to burn. Is it called burnishing? Is that what it is? I'm going to burnish this. Varnish. All right. So for me, this is less than ideal, but it'll still work for you guys because I can make this happen, so I can show it to you. I have one of my alignment marks on the orange. I just overcut a little too far or I might have cut this material a little short. I have one of my alignment marks that are visible. I have another one where I can see like the corner of it. I can see like half of the alignment mark. No big deal. We can still align using that one. I only need 2 alignment mark point of contact, whether it's 2 on the edges, on this side, the 2 top alignment marks. As long as 2 are visible, we can make this happen without a problem, okay? So the second thing I'm going to do, now that we've applied on top, I'm just going to grab a piece of parchment paper, and we're going to pull this along the length. Now, this is a tip and trick. The original tip and trick was from our buddy Matt over at the Rhinestone World. Congratulations to our buddy Todd, though. Downing just bought the Rhinestone World. I think that was an awesome, awesome thing for both of them. But this is one of Matt's oldest tricks of using a piece of parchment paper to actually transfer multi-layers of design. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put my parchment paper to the side, just like that. We're going to slowly peel up the PSV. And if we have any spots, like you can see the E did not stick, all I have to do is lay it back down, push my finger on the edge, and then when I peel up, I'm not going to peel this way. I'm just going to pick straight up to make sure the edge lifts. And then once it does, as you can see, the E now lifted off for me. So I'm going to do the same thing with the little alignment mark. Make sure that peels up. Make sure all of this is peeling up. The B looks like it's not coming along. A, I didn't burnish it down enough, but we can work through this entire design. And we can use that same walking method to kind of walk our way through all the letters. And then at some point in time, we'll have enough adherence on a letter that will stick. There we go. There we go. And sometimes I like this too, because it actually, with PSV, if any of my friends in here know, PSV sometimes can be a little finicky material to work with. So I also like being able to like take my time. So once it's up and off of the material, I can lay that back down. It's not going to stick back down again. It's going to stay off that material. And then I can kind of work from the other side. Looks like the R worked out pretty good. That looks real, real good. There we go. Cool. And then the A's peeling up fine. And then now we've gotten to the C. And then last, oh, our S. Leave it up to the S to always give you problems at the end, huh? Right when you think you had it. There we go. There's that. And then that edge right there. Cool. So I got the scary part peeled up. I got all that peeled up. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to simply lay this back down. Now, you got to be kind of delicate with PSV sometimes, just because you don't want it to fold and then stick to itself. So I'm just going to peel off one edge, and we're going to do what's called a hinge. So I'm just going to do a hinge really far to the right side of my design, okay? Now what I'm going to do is throw my parchment paper underneath, kind of wedge that in right there, just so it's flat and straight. And then now I can take this piece, whoops, well, I'll just lay it back down on there. I can lay my first layer down on my parchment paper and now remove my backing piece. All right, so next step here is I have my parchment paper. Why are we using parchment? What's the point of this in the first place, Patrick? Well, number one, parchment paper makes it really easy because this won't stick to it. But number two, when I pull in the next layer of my design, you can see my design underneath that layer, which is really important for this next step because remember, we have the registration marks we have to think about. So I'm going to go ahead and take the parchment paper and just kind of peel that. And I'm actually going to cut this a little bit short just so I don't have to deal with it later. I'm going to cut it short on purpose. And now what I can do is I can take my two registration marks and my two alignment marks on this side. And before I lay anything else down, I can make sure that those alignment marks are straight and even. There's one on the top and then one on the bottom. Just like that and just like that. There's one, there's two. Let me make sure that's better. I didn't like it. OCD, sorry. Little OCD action. Okay, there's one there. That one's even now. And then that one's even. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. All right, now I can make sure, because I can also check the other side of my alignment marks to make sure that those are aligned properly. Everything's good. So what I can do from here is I'm going to repeat the same process. Now, for anybody out there that needs it, a quick little thing you can grab too, and I'll do this just for the sake of conversation. Grab yourself a little piece of, whether it's heat tape or it's just some regular masking tape. Give it a little fold with all the sticky side up. Just put it underneath your each of your layers, like put it underneath your transfer film, and then it will keep everything in place for you so you don't have to worry about it. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead in the same way that we did before. We're going to hinge this up. And because we hinged it partially, I'm just going to slowly remove that parchment paper. Whoops. I actually need your help here in a second. I'm going to remove that parchment paper, and being that I give myself enough room, we're going to be good. All right, I'm just going to line this up one more time, and I'll have you remove that. Cool. There. And then there. All right, you can remove that now, the parchment. Thank you, thank you. All right. Done. So now we can lay the second layer, and now I see all my alignment marks are lined up. Just going to simply give it a quick little pat down to get any of the initial bubbles out of there. So now what we're doing in real time, what you're seeing me do in real time, is I'm actually aligning both layers and adhering both layers to the transfer film that I have. So then now what I can do is I can take these 2 layers and I can apply them onto the black layer to give me that full design of the sign that we just made. So let's go ahead and pick those up. Again, making sure that all the corners lift. I'm not worried about the orange because that won't stick back down. I'm really just worried about the green to make sure that'll be okay. Done, done, done. And then I'm just going to lay that down. Okay, so I have that part of my design laid down. Again, I'm going to take my parchment paper. We're going to throw the parchment paper in there. And then we're able to simply just place our entire design back down on the parchment. And then we simply just repeat the same steps or the same process for each layer. So now I can go ahead, remove this backing paper, bring in my new backing paper. And now, as you guys can see, the sign's already starting to take effect right before your very eyes. All right, so I got my 2 alignment marks. Now for this one, I don't necessarily need to use the alignment marks because I can see the whole contour of this design. And I know that it's all even now. Good, good, good. Now, next thing I need to do is, again, holding down one edge. I'm able to flip this on over. Can you grab the parchment? Yeah, just hold that down really quick. Thank you. All right. We can pull the parchment paper out, and then I simply roll. I'm not setting it down. I'm letting it naturally kind of roll down onto the material, and just like that, you see our sign, all 3 layers of our adhesive kind of come together all at the same time. All right. So now that we've adhered that down, here's what I can do. I have my full sign, okay, done. I can go ahead and I'm going to just cut off those alignment marks because we don't obviously want to stick those to any surface so that they're permanent. I like to, just for the sake of not wasting additional material, meaning my foam core board in case I want to make more than one, I like to cut kind of close to the top of the design too, around the edges, and then on the bottom. What's up?
And all that extra transfer tape, could you reuse?
1000%. Now we do recommend though for any transfer tape, if we are going to reuse transfer tape, it's usually only good, 3 or 4 times maybe. 3 or 4 times, but I mean, it's still, you can use the same piece for multiple projects. So it really helps to save a little bit of money too. Look at that. Not only are we teaching you, we're getting you to spend money, but we're also teaching you how to save money. It's like a trifecta of marketing we got here. All right, cool. So now I have my sign, and in comparison, you can see how much bigger this one will be than this one. Cool, cool. All right, so for the final step, then we can get you all out of here because I know that you're getting sick of hearing me talk, is I'm going to simply take my foam core board and I'm going to lay my design down. This won't fit that way. We go this way. Lay my design down onto my foam core board. And for me, I'm just going to cut it to make my life easy. And of course, I don't have a 1 blade here. Here, what we'll do, I'll just cut it with scissors for now. Foam core will cut with scissors, right? For sure it will.
We're gonna find out.
Is there a 1 blade in the can over there? How did I not bring one down? I thought I had one. I think Adam stole it, is what it was. Yeah. You definitely picked up my CD in broad daylight and you scratched it. All right. So I'm just using scissors just for the sake of time because I totally didn't bring a blade down for this. But if you have a X-Acto knife or like a 10 blade or a 1 blade, like those are really, really good for these types of projects. So I'm just kind of cutting around. And as you can see, I'm cutting my foam core board slightly wider than I actually need it. And you're probably asking yourself, hey, Patrick, why are you using black foam core board when the back layer of your design is the color's black too? Big reason why I'm doing that is because if you see this one, I love the way this looks. But when you turn it over, that's fine. And when you turn it over, it's on a white foam core. So if some of the edges aren't cut perfect around the edge, which is the next step that I'll kind of show you, then you're going to see some white edges. So for this one, I have my foam core board down. Simply going to flip my design over, peel off the transfer tape. Bingo, bango. And then I'm going to flip it over. And what we're going to do is we're going to, well, whether you like hamburger or hot dog, I like doing hot dog with long designs, or I mean hamburger with long designs, but we're going to fold it from the middle. We're going to press the middle down first, touch it down, and we're just going to let the rest of the design slowly roll. And this is going to prevent any of those crazy harsh air bubbles and things that you can get. Use our hands just to kind of get it down there. And I'll come back with a squeegee. And again, we're just going to kind of rub that design in, make sure that PSV is adhered to the foam core. And then I can peel off my transfer film. There we go. Look at that. Fancy schmancy. I wish I had that one blade, so I would love to show them how to cut this. I got to have something in here. Ooh, woohoo, got it. Nailed it. And yes, for anybody listening, I do forget sometimes that I do have a microphone on, and I say weird stuff like nailed it and woohoo. All right, so for the last step, we're just simply going to take a little X-Acto knife or a one blade, and we're just going to follow the guideline. And I'll cut out a couple pieces of this just so you can see. I'm just going to simply follow the line of the PSV. When we get to corners, what I like to do is just like an actual cutting blade, I like to bring my blade straight up and down. So instead of on an angle, I like to go straight up and down so that I can tighten up to those corners, really trying to use the 60-degree angle of that blade that I'm cutting with. And the thicker the blade, the better, typically. Definitely the sharper the blade. So let's go ahead, follow the line. And when you start getting to a point, so I get to a certain point where I'm either getting off track on the design, or for whatever reason, I think that I've cut a little too far, too deep, whatever. All I'm going to do is cut away from my design into the board, cut it all the way to the edge, and I can simply pop these pieces out. So I can kind of do this section by section. So there you go. So now I can cut that section out, and now I have one section done. And let's just go ahead, for the sake of the live, as we're getting ready to kind of wrap up here, I'll just go quickly and cut all of this out. Now, what I'm also doing too, my blade is not perfectly up and down straight. I actually have it on a slight angle. So I'm cutting not straight up and down on the material, but I'm actually cutting on an edge so that on the back side of the material, it actually slants backwards. So I can avoid any crazy pieces that kind of like flare up, or any of those little tiny hairline pieces in there. So Karina, if you're watching, so this is an awesome large format, like print and cut option, or not print and cut option, but PSV option, if you're doing promotional signs and stuff like that. Again, just breaking kind of as I go, so I can progress through this sign. There we go. Sorry, I just blew in everybody's ear. Apologize at home. All right. And then we're going to go along this edge here. We'll turn the corner, go on the flat edge. All righty. And then we're going to go right around the edge here and trail down. Now, I will say, out of respect for my eyeballs, black on black is probably not a good choice to try to see and cut. But again, if you have a well-lit area like I do here, it's pretty simple to see the edges. And also, too, it has a little bit of forgiveness, right? If I have black PSV on a black foam core board, if for whatever reason I'm not perfect on every one of my edges, then I have the ability to go back, or I have something to kind of like hide that a little bit. So you don't have to be picture perfect, but we always strive for perfection here at Siser. There we go. Cut that little piece out. Are we yawning over there? Are you guys getting bored of me now too? No. She's yawning. She says no. All righty. We're almost done, guys.
I just asked if anybody has any other questions they want Patrick to answer live,
yes,
to put them in the chat now. And then, of course, if there's any remaining afterwards that we don't get to, you can absolutely post them in the group.
Yep.
And Patrick will be happy to answer them.
Awesome. Only if it's today, though, because today's my day for social. So who's on tomorrow?
Am I up in the morning? I think I think
you're up in the AM. So
I'm
Anna will
up
answer
in
them
the
in the AM. That's the cool part about our team here, guys, is that we really do have a crew of people that can kind of answer all of those questions in real time, all day, every day, for the most part, within respect of, you know, personal time and time off and all that stuff. But I've gotten many text messages from Anna while she's supposed to be on vacation asking work questions, and I'm sure Adam, as he's smirking in the background, has had the same. So I don't really know if there's any difference in work and play in our eyes. I think our work is our play sometimes.
Dorothy had asked, Romeo cannot cut foam due to the thickness, right?
Foam core, it's, what did we say, 1 millimeter to fit in? Yeah, one millimeter.
Yeah, I was responding to you, Dorothy. I think some people have had some success with it. The thing you got to worry about with foam core is the pinch wheels, because if the pinch wheels go over it, it's going to dent your foam car, which you do not want.
Correct, yeah.
Romeo would be capable otherwise, I would say, especially when we have a deep cut blade. If anybody's not been able to try that, there's a new blade out, deep cut for thicker materials. It's 2 millimeters deep, but it's a 60-degree angle, I believe.
Yes.
Still. I'm trying to think if there's any other point to add about the foam core.
Yeah, the hard part is just the thickness of the material. We don't want to put anything thicker than that 1 millimeter. Excuse me. Or it can, damage your material. And a lot of people that have used like Strip Flock Pro have probably seen that every once in a while you can get some lines in there and stuff like that. So what I'm doing right now for the last kind of step, let me see if I can get this on the overhead for you guys. Whoops, not that one, other overhead. What I'm doing right now is I'm just going on all of the edges and I'm kind of cutting an angle to the back. Again, just so I don't have any like frayed pieces or anything like that sticking out. But other than that, we just finished up, guys. That's our whole sign. So this is our first sign that we made. And then here's our second one. But something super, super easy. I can tell you that, well, a little secret. Maybe we'll tell them about the new secret that we might be building and constructing soon. We may or may not be building a new studio. So excited. Big upgrades, bigger space coming. I love it. We're going to have more options. But I honestly may make our Siser signs, our studio signs, out of this same method. So I've done this, I don't know, we've done fat heads with this stuff. I mean, everything with foam core. So really, really super easy, quick project. Can go up in the house during the holiday season. At the end of the day, if for whatever reason you don't want it anymore, you just simply fold it, toss it in the garbage, and it's done. I saved the good one. I saved the black one because I didn't like the white contour on that one. So this is a really quick, easy way to make that stuff. If you guys, again, teachers out there, you guys know not every school has all the funds to be able to buy a bunch of stuff for the classroom. I know you're spending your own money anyways, or some of you out there are already crafting and creating for those teachers and those loved ones in your life. Grab yourself from the, $2 million store now, not the 99-cent store, but go to the dollar store, get yourself a few pieces of foam core, go to a Walmart, find some cheap foam core board, get yourself some PSV, make a really awesome teacher gift this year, something that the teacher can hang up in the classroom, have a really, really awesome memory of not only something you created, but then the kids can enjoy it. If you're a coach on a sports team, the emblems, right, are really awesome, but they're expensive. Make them. You got kids for Halloween, you got a birthday coming up, fat heads. If you have that same print technology, you can print it and then you can adhere it to foam core and you can cut around and make your own custom fat heads. The world of creativity is really in your hands and it's up to you what you want to do. We're just really happy to show you some really fun ways to be able to use not only our materials, but kind of use all the materials you're using anyway. So I hope that works. All right, let's go over really quick, see who's chiming in. Let's see. Wait, I saw Miss you, what? Did somebody just ask what's a fat head? Ooh, Sharon, listen, you got to go online. You got to check out fat heads. They're really, really cool. If you ever see at like sports games, a really, really big, pictures of somebody's face that they're holding up in the crowd. There's a company called Fathead. So it's kind of like a Kleenex thing. Is it sneeze tissue or whatever we're supposed to call it, or is it Kleenex? In my head, it's just Kleenex. So I just say Fathead because it's usually that most people understand. But foam core signs, we'll just say that. Reusable or throwaway signs. All righty. Let's see. We got any more?
No, I just had one more, I guess. Somebody had asked if we had reflective vinyl.
Ooh, we don't have a reflective PSV though.
No, heat transfer. I think they're asking about heat transfer. Sure.
Yeah, so we have some really awesome ones. And actually for anybody out there that is looking for all of our heat transfer materials, let's go ahead on over to the Googs. Let me bring over, sorry guys, I got to switch a screen really quick for you. I'm doing the extra work just so we can show you this stuff, guys. Okay, so over on our website at snana.com, SiserNA.com, there is a materials tab which has our heat transfer and every single one of our materials that are available to you. Easy Reflective is one of those materials, and there's actually 4 different colors and 4 different designs or ways to create with the reflective. So All of the information is usually on the page, whether it's CPSI compliant, all of the certifications, laser friendly, layerable, iron on, or if it's a pressure sensitive. So that's one great place that you can get all of your information. The other great place that you can get all of your information is over in Leonardo Design Studio. If you're using that, we have a great material library where we have all of those same featured products, whether it's digital media, if it's pressure sensitive vinyl, or it's something like a heat transfer. We have every single one of our heat transfers available to you. Let's find the reflective for you. Where is it at? Am I missing it? Oh, here it is. Reflective. Once I'm on that screen, I can go ahead and click on one of them, and you're going to get all that same awesome information that our team works so hard to do, but you can read up on all of it. I know Marco spends most of his time reading on materials. He doesn't really know a lot of our materials, but that's fine. Marco, you know, he's one of a kind. He doesn't know any of the materials, but he'll call us and say, hey, what is reflective? What's, you know, easy weed? I'm just kidding. I love you, Marco. But there's a great way. The other third way and the easiest way is over on the iOS store or the Google Play Store. You can go ahead and just download the Siser North America mobile app, and you have access to all of this stuff too. Not only do you have access to that, you have access to our team. Make sure that you guys are, yeah, see, Marco said funny because he knows it's true. I love you, Marco. But make sure that you're following along on all platforms. Adam, can you just throw up all the platforms for us? We're available over on YouTube. We're available over on TikTok. We're on Facebook. We're on our support group on Siser North America Support over on Facebook. Make sure that you join. Say that you saw us in an After Dark, and that's the reason why you wanted to join. We also are on LinkedIn. We don't have a LinkedIn, but we do have some people posting on LinkedIn. Well, not one that we're posting on regularly. That's it. So, but we do have some people posting on LinkedIn. So whatever your preferred platform is, we got you covered. So yeah. Any last minute questions? Do we have anything coming in? Kristen said, I always forget about those sources. I'm the same way. I'm the same way. Sometimes I'll go on my phone and I'll look at the mobile app icon and I'll be like, oh yeah, I forgot we had a mobile app. And I do that all the time. So I'm with you, Kristen. All right. Well, if that is everything, hey, you guys, we appreciate you hanging out for another After Dark. Thank you guys so much for the love in the comments. Make sure that if you're watching this and you made it to the end on the replay, that you comment down on the YouTube channel. If you're watching the After Dark, there's right now I have 55 of you that have stuck with me, and I appreciate every one of you. If you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please subscribe over to our YouTube channel. Make sure that you're checking out the After Darks on After and sharing them with all your friends. But do we have any other closing statements in the room? Good to go. All right. Well, on that note, guys, stay creative. We love you. Bye, everyone.